Now we're going to come up and meet Sheng of China. And the baddest man on the planet, or self-proclaimed baddest man on the planet, Mr. Abbott, that's 2006 world champion Joe Warren.
All right, it's been a number of years since we've seen Joe. He last competed in 2007. And he obviously has gone into the fighting game.
Done pretty well, too.
Yeah, a couple of good bouts. He beat Kid Matsumoto, who's actually... Yamamoto, excuse me. Yeah, who was actually a wrestler before he became an MMA star. And Yamamoto has two sisters that were world champs as well. Joe beat him in one of his big fights, but he's been training at the training center for a number of months now, getting back into Greco, and he wants to be a star in both Greco wrestling and in the MMA fight game.
High dive attempt, almost got the body lock, and Joe has not wrestled under these rules. So, and has talked about how much he actually does think that these rules cater to his style because he's pretty good on his feet.
Joe has a very aggressive style on his feet. He's been known to score points, and the new rules favor team athletes who are able to get a point in that 90 seconds. So, if Joe's able to continue wrestling like he did when he was at the top of his game, he's going to do very well in these rules.
4 years since his world championship. Well, 3.5 essentially, calendar years. 50 seconds ago. Now Warren hanging on the front headlock, trying to create some offense from this position. Had to jump up and grab it. Separation. Still snapping and going. A lot of hand fighting by Joe Warren.
This is not an easy first match for Joe after sitting out a number of years. Sheng was 5th in the Olympics.
Hey, so he's in the bronze medal match.
Yeah, how about that? You know, Joe never got to wrestle in the Olympics, so this is still the reason why he's doing this. He, was unable to compete in 2008, and now he's going to go back, and he's talking about going for 12. He'll be in his mid-30s. He's not going to be a kid if he makes it all the way to London, but that Olympic gold is really something that drives a lot of these athletes.
Here we go with the parterre position. Warren on top, now locking up the tight gut. Getting the lock. Can he drive him over? He's going to try to pop his hips now, reverses direction, goes the other way. Now trying to lift with the high gut scenario. Kind of locked around the chest, kind of loosens up, now goes off to a front headlock. Steps over. Almost pile.
Oh, he's going for that. He's not going to.
Front headlock roll through with 3, 2, and 1. So the first period is going to go to Sheng of China.
Joe looked pretty good out there considering he's got a whole lot of rust. The coach Frazier says he's been wrestling well. He's going to need to complete some of his attacks if he's going to score that first in that first part of the period. And so he doesn't have to go down and do the mat wrestling. I think that's the part of his wrestling that is going to be the hardest to get back into is the parterre. On the feet, I think, Joe probably didn't have as tough a transition getting back into Greco. That was his strength.
Back to action here, second period. The first period was won by Sheng of China over Joe Warren, 2006 world champion, making his Greco-Roman debut, the grand reopening. How about that? I couldn't think of the alternate word for debut.
Well, they call it, in some cases, a return from retirement. But, Joe had an opportunity to compete last year but chose not to.
Well, Sheng complaining about the headbutt, and Joe says, oh, my bad, gives him a high five. Hanging on the front headlock. And it's like Joe brings a style we don't see very many of our U.S. wrestlers wrestle with. I mean, he's very distinct. And it doesn't, kind of sticks with his stuff.
Yeah, he's a go-for-it type wrestler. He goes very aggressively, works the head, and almost got behind right there. That was a nice technique. Again, he's just a little bit off, but it shows that he still has the skills.
Definitely still has the skill set. 1:10 to go, second period. Joe Warren lost the first period 1-0. Now Warren hanging on the front head. Kind of tightening it up, trying to roll through. He's going to go for it.
Oh, he's got it.
Steps over.
Whoa, counter.
Who's got who?
They're going to give that to the Chinese man, I believe, here.
Yeah, that goes to Sheng for 2 on the counter. He almost had it. Had he kept rolling through it, it would have been Warren's point, but not going to happen.
Warren initiated, but it got stopped in the middle there, I think, Jason, and that's why China was able to get the counter and score the 2-point for exposure.
Well, let's see how Joe can rally from a 2-0 deficit. Again, having not wrestled with these rules, he won't have a chance on top. like the old rules, to maybe put a 3-point throw in there or a 5-pointer. Now, but he's still trying. He gets the push out, so Joe Warren.
Oh, there we go.
So gets 1 point.
He brings the heat, doesn't he?
Well, he leads with that head, but he does it without, headbutting, so to speak. Now we'll go to parterre. Warren will be down. He's going to need a restart, basically. Warren kind of looking confused, wondering what the score is, looking over at Steve Frazier, who's in one corner. Got our entire Greco staff kind of over there, and then Rob Urban and Anatoly Petrosian over in the corner for the United States.
Well, Joe has to score. Is that correct? I mean, basically the guy's leading 2-1, right?
He doesn't. The Chinese wrestler Sheng does not have to score in this scenario. He's already scored offensive points.
So we'll see if Joe's got anything from the bottom.
And they're going to bring him up. So Joe Warren will have 16 seconds, but he needs 2 points. 1-pointer's not going to do it because he gave up a 2-point move. So 1-2 beats 2 1s. Warren kind of shucking and jiving. Underhook, trying to spin around. There's the drag. Going to get the push out with 8 to go. It's going to tie it up. So
okay.
At 8 seconds, he's going to need to score another point to force a third period.
Joe's capable of scoring in 8 seconds.
Joe looked and he was grabbing his hand. He didn't have it. Now he's
double leg.
No, he's not at University of Michigan anymore. But Joe Warren's first match back is going to go to the favor of Sheng of China. So 1-1 is our match score. 1 match each for the United States and
So what do you think of first match back for Joe Warren? I think